We have arrived at the midpoint of Lent, what we used to call in the old Latin liturgy, Laetare Sunday, Rejoice Sunday. When I was a kid, I always thought that was rejoice because we're halfway through Lent. That was the day where you could see a slight change in the season of Lent. The priest would often wear rose-colored vestments. There might even be flowers in the sanctuary. And it was a time when you could sort of lighten up the rigors of Lent. At least that's what I thought as a youngster. Maybe take a little bit of whatever I was giving up just to get me on to the final half of Lent. But of course, that mentality, which I think was pretty pervasive, was that Lent was about something that we were doing. And Lent is not about something that we've done or are doing. It's a time to reflect on what God has done and is doing. Lent is a season of memory in which we recall the great deeds of God in the past in relationship to us. For instance, in the readings you'll hear about all through Lent, the creation story, the exodus from Egypt, the return of the exiled people to the Holy Land. And when we get into Holy Week, we will be thinking about the suffering, death, and resurrection of Jesus. All of these are things which God has done for us. The theme of Lent is not our sins, but God's achievements. And it's summed up very briefly in one or two sentences in the gospel today. Jesus says, God so loved the world that he sent his Son. And the Son came not to condemn, but to heal, to save, to restore, to reconcile whatever damage we have done to ourselves, to our planet, to each other. So today, remember, as a reminder of what we are remembering and celebrating. The word celebrate is an interesting word. It comes from the Latin word celere, which means quickly. When we celebrate something, we celebrate something large, something expansive, something wonderful in a very quick time. We celebrate our birthday. We're not celebrating the day of our actual birth. That was eons ago for some of us. We're not celebrating the anniversary of that day, but we're celebrating everything that happened in our lives from the day of our birth to the time of this celebration. And that's what we're doing in Lent. We are remembering all that has happened in the past because of God's great love for us and all that he is doing for us now, so that we can, with open arms, accept the gifts he gives us, as Paul talks about in the second reading. What God did is what we are now recalling, but we're also remembering what God is doing today in our lives. Laetare Sunday, Rejoice Sunday, puts us back on the track if perhaps we have become a little bit self-centered during Lent. Lent is not about our sin. Lent is about God's love for his creation, for his love which works itself out, which reveals itself in mercy. Forgiveness and the ability to begin again is what the Lenten period is all about. Let us accept the gift we have been given and rejoice in the love that gave it.